The Fintech Association of Nigeria hosted the 2019 Fintech Week, which focused on the theme, Surviving with Fintech Innovation, What are the Sustaining Factors? It brought together stakeholders and regulators in the Nigerian and global fintech ecosystem. The major highlights of the opening session was the formal launch of the Fintech Roadmap for the capital market by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
We want to formally launch this report on behalf of Securities and Exchange Commission and the capital market community, because it's a capital market project.
Day one of the conference featured robust panel sessions covering regulations, a discourse on the Financial Inclusion 2020 agenda, deepening insurance through innovation, and building a sustainable funding ecosystem for tech startups. Mrs. Aisha Ahmed, Deputy Governor, Financial System Stability, Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Segun Aino, President of Fintech Association of Nigeria, and Mr. Patrick Akinwutan, CEO EcoBank Nigeria, gave their insights into the event and how it will shape the fintech industry in Nigeria.
We have been able to impact, the ecosystem, the society, in terms of some of the recommendations that have come out of the previous events. We send it to government, to regulators, to operators, and so on and so forth. And like I said in my presentation, this first event gave birth to the Fintech Association of Nigeria, because the system required an ecosystem that is made up of all players. If you've listened to the presentation of the MD of EcoBank, Mr. Patrick Akinwutan, and that of the DG, Central Bank, Mr. Yaman, they also talk about ecosystem. Fintech is not just about startups. Fintech is not just about technology companies. It's about everybody that uses the technology system and innovation that comes out of it. So through the association, we're able to bring everybody together. And going beyond that, we're also, through the third conference, we've been able to see the need. Because Nigeria cannot stand alone. We want Nigerian innovators who are creating products to be able to have wider market access. Nigeria is just 200 million out of 1.2 billion people that we have in Africa. So if you create a product in Nigeria and you are seeing Africa as your market, it also promotes, those businesses. That's why we also facilitate the creation of the African Fintech network to create market access and to also share ideas and so on and so forth. Through this kind of events, we are able to discover young people, innovators, and so on and so forth, whose businesses are now thriving because of the opportunities that they have seen. And at this event also, we are going to have a lot of product pitches, sales pitches, competitions, and hackathons that will recognize this. And if you listen to some of the people on the platform that have spoken earlier on, they are talking about challenges that need to be resolved in the industry. This will go into what we call into what we can use to be able to define solutions that will address this challenge. When we work with government, with regulators, to be able to support all the things that we are, and that is why today, global organizations, like the UN, continental organizations like the African Development Bank, UNECA, and so on and so forth, have been very supportive, have recognized this need, and more importantly, global banking institutions like EcoBank, both their head office and Nigeria here, they have given extreme support towards ensuring this, because EcoBank is present in 36 countries in Africa, and through them we have been able to penetrate a lot of the African countries. So they have been very, very supportive, and we know that more and more partners will. And at the end of the day, the whole idea is to have solutions that address the challenges of the common man, the challenges of everybody, so that we can have a society that is near perfect, that is creative, and that is supportive of growth for everybody.
It's important for collaboration that policymakers, the market, so the traditional banks, the payment service companies, and all of the new companies that are trying to come into the payment space have a platform for dialogue. It is through dialogue, highlighting the issues, and you know that when speakers come, they come from their perspective. I talk from my perspective, the players come and talk from their perspective, and that is how the policymakers will understand the issue. So this is absolutely critical. We look at fostering innovation, but you know what I said? I said innovation must be responsible innovation. It must be inclusive, should address all our issues, both financial inclusion, gender inclusion, youth inclusion, and it must be held accountable. Because they say to whom much is given, much is expected. And when you come into the industry to enable inclusion and to drive growth, we want you to add value to what is there already and make it better, right? And forestall any of the challenges. I'm very, very happy that even the industry participants themselves are identifying some of the challenges, because you have some bigger institutions connecting with smaller ones, and the bigger ones are trying to get the smaller ones to have the kind of operational resilience that they need, cybersecurity resilience that they need, corporate governance frameworks required, that will turn them into sustainable institutions.
We're a large country, 200 million people. We're doing everything to try to promote agriculture, both by way of funding, support the creative industry. We're trying to support the creative industry, partner with people with talents, whether in fashion, whether in photography, whether in movies, whether in music. Millions and millions of talented Nigerians. The challenge has always been, when you want to then transact, what is the cost of doing a transaction? How easy is it for you to save 50 naira a day and accumulate your sweat so you have savings, the way we were taught when we were young? The USSD short code should make it easy for everybody to be able to do a simple transaction, do a simple saving, and if you need credit facility, request for a loan right there. The loan itself will be priced. The savings itself, you earn interest, but the access should be free. It should be like the way we breathe air, so that everybody can participate. And with everybody participating, there will be much more people, there will be scale, we will reduce unemployment, we will reduce social tensions, we will improve the security, because when people are engaged and they have financial prosperity, they are less likely to think of engaging in crime. So it is all about creating a better society. We don't need to wait to see that all our able and competent people all emigrate to other countries. This is our country, we need to contribute, and for every major institution that is benefiting from the society, we need to give back so that we can all progress. This is the whole idea, and I'm very pleased with what the Fintech Association led by Dr. Aino is doing. He's doing this in Nigeria, he's doing it across Africa, and we're proud of what he's doing.
For Day 2, the British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Harriet Thompson, shared the new plans of the UK government to support the development of the fintech industry in the country.
Right now, we're building up to the UK's Africa Investment Summit in January in London, where technology will be a leading theme in discussions of 20 heads of state and global business leaders. As part of preparations, next week sees a UK-Nigeria investment showcase hosted by the ex-Lord Mayor of London, and we'll be taking 3 Nigerian tech firms there to meet a new set of potential investors. Overall, we expect results in 2020 to be flowing faster and more impressively as our new programming and staffing get established and get to work. Above all, we hope to see new investments, firms growing as a result, and people in all corners of Nigeria benefiting them.
It also featured panel sessions on artificial intelligence, women in tech, edtech, blockchain and regulations, open banking and cybersecurity, amongst others. The startup pitch, which had 5 contestants, saw Flex emerge as the winner, clinching the $100,000 prize from Action Ventures Lab. After a robust conference, Dr. Segun Aino gave the overview and the expectations for 2020.
As you can see, we did not wait for tomorrow or next week or next year to come up with a solution. Everybody has been briefed immediately as to the summary of what has happened. And also we are also now looking forward to year 2020, where we have actually chosen the date, 26th of October to 31st of October. But in between that period, we plan to make sure that, one, the detailed report is sent to all stakeholders within the fintech ecosystem, not only in Nigeria, but also outside of Nigeria. And we will highlight the roles of each player in terms of what they are expected to do. And we make sure that we engage them, so that by the time we are coming here next year, we want to see progress being made in some of the issues that have been made, so that we'll be coming up with new issues, not still repeating the same issues that we have written. That is what we call progress, and we hope, and we are sure that that progress will be made. But this time of nature, God, all of us will be there, God willing, to be able to see what has happened.
The role of Fintech Association of Nigeria in deepening the ecosystem in the nation is remarkable, and it is expected that by 2020, scale will be achieved in deepening financial inclusion, getting on board more regulatory roadmaps, push the fintech drive across the states, universities, and research institutes, which will in overall achieve economic prosperity for the country.